Dead Art Studios artist vlog today. I've got this painting that I did in a previous video, just like a little 3-minute sort of recording my painting video, and it's not quite finished. I don't think there's a couple of bits I just want to add to it, so we're going to do that today. And then I did this one that I did in another video. I had a kind of blue and a red thing going off, and I think this one's a bit more finished, but I think it could benefit from a little bit extra. So I've got an hour before it's time to get their daughter from school, so that's what I'm going to do today. And we're going to start with the blue one, and I think we're going to draw a horizon line into it. Okay, I've got myself a ruler and I've got the paint in here, and I think this is where I'm going to do a little line with the Posca pen actually, which I've got over here. I'll just get out. Now these videos are a little bit about giving you a look behind the scenes and how I sort of finish my paintings and get them ready to put on my online store and things like that. It's sort of more day-to-day kind of thing. Now I've got my Posca pen here. I'm going to give it a little shake, and then I'm going to just use the ruler and draw a straight line onto that, just to create a bit more of a sort of rigid looking separation between the sort of, I suppose, water part of the painting at the front and the sort of landscape in the middle. Now at the top here, when I put on this, I had a little bit of an issue with the tape, taking it off, and it's just left. I mean, we can't go. It's just left the tiniest little bit of white showing when we put the frame mount on. So we just want to go over that a bit. So I think what we'll do is we'll get a little bit of blue, some primary cyan, and we'll just pop that on to the top there to cover that up. Okay, so I found my really empty tube of primary cyan, which will be ideal for this. I can just take a little bit out of the side here. And I've got this sponge brush, and I'm just going to brush over the top and blend that in a bit. And we're going to create a sort of different cloud-like effect up at the top just by streaking this blue in. And that'll add a bit more interest to the painting and cover up that little bit of a tape tear. So I'll give it a little spray with some water as well, just to aid the blending a bit more, so it looks a bit more united. There we go. We can wash that over painting, try not to do that. And anywhere where it does look a bit thin, we can get it in and even it out a bit. Now there we go. I think that's looking better. Right, so I've done that, and I've got the line in the middle, which I do quite like. It has tidied it up a little bit, and I've covered that top white bit with a bit of the primary cyan, and I think that's made it look a bit more interesting as well, just a little bit more going off at the top. I'll just blend. You always see a bit, don't you? Just afterwards, this is the problem sometimes. Just blend that bit in a bit more with a finger. Yeah, so I think that's good. So I think what I'm going to do is sign that down at the bottom, and then when it's all dry, I'll put some gloss medium on it for a varnish on this one, and that'll be finished. And then I can put a frame mount on it and get it photographed ready for the shop. So the pen I use for signing, sometimes I use paint, but if I've got one in, I'll use these 0.7mm white Posca paint pens. So let's get the mount where we want it. Don't want any of the white paper showing through, and that looks good. And then let's just sign it here. There we go. DAS for Dead Art Studios. Right, and we can put that to one side to dry, and then I can put the gloss medium on that to protect it. Right, so the next question is what we're going to do with this one. Now this one's pretty complete, but I do feel like maybe if I put some red along the horizon here, that would frame that a little bit better. And if I put some orange along the yellow bit at the bottom, that'd sort of sort that bit out as well and make that look a bit more solid. So we're going to do those things first, and then I'm going to see if it needs anything else adding to it. If not, we'll sign that as well. Alright, so we'll squeeze a little bit of red. Not too much, because we're just making a horizon line. And we'll do a bit of the orange also. There we go. A bit of the orange as well. That's just a yogurt pot lid. And then I've got my scraper blades, which I use quite a lot in my painting. Let's start off with the red. And I'll just get the blade in like that. Try and get a good amount on. And then let's try and carefully create a horizon line. So start up a bit higher there. That's going a bit wayward. Not to worry. There we go. Yeah, so that looks kind of cool actually, and I don't necessarily need it to be too perfect. I just want to create a bit of colour variation there. A bit of a heavier red, just to, I don't know, help with the perspective or something like that. It just feels a bit unfinished. Yeah. Nice bit there. I think that's pretty good. Of course, the temptation is to go back in and add to it, and then you make a mess of it. Let's just do that bit. Fill that out a bit more. Good. Yeah, that looks nice. Now, since we've got a bit of red left, let's streak that up at the front here. That'll create an extra, just an extra little bit of variety in the front of the painting. And it'll use the paint. Good. Give the blade a wipe. Do the same for the orange, but this time on the yellow bit above. We've got like two horizons on this. It's a sort of flat perspective, and then I'm trying to use the colour to give the depths. And because this one's supposed to be further away, maybe we need a slightly thinner line. And got the shakes on. It's a bit difficult to do when you've got your camera in front of you, but you know, you've got to bring people along for the ride, haven't you? There we go. I'll just brush that up a bit. Okay, that was kind of nice. This bit's a bit, let's try and scrape that off. Okay, then I can just rub that with my finger. Now it's further up. Blend that in. Now I am tempted to put some white along here with the blade, just for some sort of cloud effects. So I might do that. I've still got a bit of orange as well, so I can mix that in, and then hopefully it'll create a bit of a two-tone kind of thing, kind of vibe. So I've got my paint. I don't need much. Okay, so like that much should be fine. And let's sort of mix it a bit, and then just close our eyes and pray. Which side should I, if I come in from this side, I've got this interest up here, and I feel like it should add to that, and then this side's quieter, but then that might make it more interesting. I feel like I should come from this side and get into this hole here. Okay. Let's sort of do a jiggle like that. And that's worked quite well. And then I think maybe we could even bring another sort of horizon line in here and blend that in there as well. Let's move that out. Let's do a bit of a little wobble there. My hands are going super up and down today. Must be coming with age, I guess. Right. Blend that in a bit with a finger. Just create a bit of smoothness as well. So there, look. So just to calm it down a bit. I feel like that's relatively good. We'll have to let that dry before we sign it, because we'll do it down here somewhere, and I've got the red paint on it. Okay, so there you go. What do you think? I don't know, I quite like it. I think we're going to call that finished as well, and I'll give that a sign, and yeah, we'll be able to get both of these on my shop soon. Guess that's it for today. Just a little check-in, show you a little bit of the sort of the day-to-day side of things. Dead Art Studios, artist vlog. Maybe next time a paint and chat. See you later.